All right, happy Monday. How's it going?
Happy Monday. It is going good. How is it going for
Awesome.
you?
Good, good. Easter Monday. So we're back in the mix. So we're back this week talking about specifically go high level and um how some folks in real estate are using it. So I know today we were talking about specifically the calendar function and I'm hearing a little echo. I'm hearing the echo again when I'm talking. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I
Okay,
don't hear the echo though.
we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I know you do a lot of stuff in terms of snapshots and setups for real estate agents, and I think the one of the things that I've been hearing around one of the best uses is the scheduling calendar for how they schedule appointments to either view properties or meet with clients. And I didn't even think about that because I think about it in professional services, how you're like always just meeting on a Zoom and it's always very one way. But in that industry, they've got a couple of different use cases for it, specifically scheduling showings, who can see what property when and where, and I thought that was really really interesting, and I wanted to see if you had any experience with that because I know you do a lot of real estate stuff. How does that work?
Yeah, I know. So a lot of things now they're automating where it's just sign up on a calendar to be able to view the property, and then once you sign up, when it's time for you to go into the property, they send you a code, right? So a lot of things are self showing now. um and there's just a process. You have to upload, your identification and different things that will qualify you for being able to go see a home on your own. But with realtors, I think it's excellent when they're still, meeting their clients at properties. And if they're slated to show, a client a couple properties, depending on the time frame, they can block that time out during their calendar, and it can be automatically scheduled. So it can be scheduled to where the buyer will get a reminder just the same as you get appointment reminders. And so they would get a reminder to say, hey, we're going to see these properties, blah, blah, blah. And just reminding them, what to be ready for, what to be aware of, anything else they want to tell them before they get to the properties, and just reminding them to show up, so that they're not wasting the realtor's time, and the realtor has that time on their calendar blocked off to show this person viewings, and nothing else can get booked on it at during that time.
Yeah, yeah, and it's awesome when you talk about the ability to um just automatically schedule the time, because I remember buying a house and going through the whole process of, oh, I can get here this time, but my wife has to make this time and the realtor has another time, and it's almost like a round robin of texting and emails. And then the good thing about it is once people automatically schedule, they've got that information all in one place. The system automatically sends them a reminder. And you mentioned the code. So again, I always think about it as, online or Zoom or whatever, Google Chat or whatever. But if you've got a property code, you can send that in the automated message as well. So it really kind of takes away a lot of the heavy lifting on what could be just a laborious exchange, trying to figure that out. And then you mentioned um, the documentation requirements, which was interesting because the platform I noticed almost has like a document repository thing where you can keep standard documents. You ever see realtors use that at all?
Yeah, for a myriad of things. So the intake, right? The intake of what the borrower needs. Are you, pre-approved? Those things. So if they're pre-approved, they can upload their pre-approval right into the system and it sits on their profile. So now it's there in their profile. And anything else they may have needed to send. And not just for realtors, right? So also the same thing can apply for the mortgage lending side of it, right? As they're uploading documents or needing documents, they can do the same thing as they are requiring different things to be uploaded and sent to them. Instead of you sending it to them via email, you can just send them a link and this thing could go directly, whatever you requested can go directly into their profile. Now you're organized as a professional because it's right in their profile. You're not looking through their email trying to, looking through your email trying to find the document that you needed for them.
That is super cool. I didn't even really think about the other side, like the whole aspect of the profile being tagged with their documents, but that is true. And it's really cool, whether it's documents or additional notes, how on the back end you can see that comprehensive client snapshot, so to speak, and just at a glance see all the things that are related. Um, One of the, well, two things that I found out recently, number one, like if somebody's chatting and it knows, like, let's say you've got a client and they lost their documents or whatever, and they're chatting, and the AI chatbot um, can actually chat with people, and then we were talking about this before, drive them to be able to set appointments via the chat, and then also um, a lot of the notes, or you can kind of tag a workflow where if something um, needs to be noted on that user profile, the chatbot can automatically update the note. How does that work?
So, the workflows at high level are amazing without even needing the chat bot. So, if you need specific notes, yes, you can take and you can say, add note, add a system note. And you can type in whatever that note is or pull in whatever you need to pull in to add that note to the system. But I think the chat bot part of it, the AI part, just being able to pull those into the workflows to have these conversations with people is amazing. So let's just say it's someone asked a question, right? And they go into a certain workflow because they have a certain tag, right? It's not going to just generalize it to everyone. You have to segment it out. So if it's a current customer, then or a current client, you can have a separate workflow for them as opposed to just the general public asking questions. And then even in that aspect, you can do the same thing by adding a live chat widget onto your website and having the AI answer those questions, and you can add more questions as they come up so that you're training it, right? So if it's a question that comes up and maybe you don't like the way it answered it or you want it to answer it in a different way, all you have to do is take that question, plop it in there, tell it how to answer. And now when that question comes up in the future, it'll answer those particular questions.
That is pretty dope. That is intense. Like the other piece in reference to like the automated workflows that I was thinking about is once you've got a somebody makes a schedule, or somebody has an appointment, in the reminder series, if there are specific things that they need to be prepared for, can you set it up where there's follow-up emails that tell them, oh, we still need this document, and then they can just automatically online provide that document, and then it gets folded into their record as a result of the email series.
Yeah, you can. I definitely recommend that any documents that are outstanding should be completed and uploaded before any appointment. So my strategy would be a little bit different than that. But you definitely can ask for documents, and if they didn't send the document by the time you could, let's just say, okay, 24 hours before this appointment, if you haven't submitted this document, we're going to reschedule your appointment. And so then you can have the automation looking for that document, continuing to remind them, letting them know, hey, your appointment is going to be scheduled. If we don't have rescheduled, canceled basically. Not rescheduled. You have to reschedule on your own, but canceled if you don't have this document.
Wow, that's a
That's,
that's a good
that's
one
good.
for a lot of disciplines, whether it be real estate agents, but the other ones I think about are financial service professionals, whether they be tax preparers or certain medical professionals that need your medical documentation or insurance forms or whatever. So that's a good feature to be um, mindful of. And then the only other thing I think of, which I was surprised to see how secure Go High Level is. So, like, they always have the multi factor authentication. So, if you have a user who's logging in, they'll have the text message or email code. That'll be another validator for authentication. And then they have um, layers of compliance that'll be like HIPAA compliant, even. Have you ever had a clients go for the HIPAA compliant levels of security?
Yes, I've had a couple people inquire about it, but I haven't had anyone like, absolutely, this is what I need to have. HIPAA compliant. Of course, as an agency, it's probably just going to be better for, depending on who your clients are. Like, especially, I have a colleague who's in the medical field who does the CRM system for the medical field. So his has to be HIPAA compliant, the entire agency. But then that's just a plus plus for anyone else who comes under there, because once your agency is secured and encrypted and HIPAA compliant, it's HIPAA compliant forever. You can't, revert that back. You can't take it away. So just being able to have that extra level of security, I think, is best for all disciplines,
So, and
honestly.
now, is that a one time fee or is that like a monthly recurring fee?
It's monthly
It's
recurring
monthly.
of what you already pay. So you got to make sure your clients are going to be able to help you
Support.
sustain that in there. It's not, that revolving door client. So you
Yeah.
want to go for a more stable industry that's not going to do all of that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And maybe even having a client that's willing to pay on an annual basis, so you at least have the year solid. Maybe. Cool, cool. So we'll be back tomorrow talking about landing pages. That's a big thing. Like, I'm always trying to get my landing page right. It's like a continuing thing. But anyway, I think that's it for today. And we'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, stay automated. Cheers.
And have an automated day.